Hey third graders, welcome to Module 4. This is our first Put It in Practice. Today we're going to find the area of objects in your home. You might need a ruler, or you're going to need a ruler, but you also might need a tape measure. If you have one at home, great. It looks like this. It's one of the bendy rulers that rolls up. If you don't have one, that's fine. Let's get started. Today on your notes, I would like you guys to divide your paper into 4 equal sections, each labeled with area model and then the number at the top of each one to keep yourself organized. Go ahead and do this. Press pause and press play when you're done. I'm very excited because today we're going to go around our homes and we're going to find objects that we can take the area of. So we're going to think of different square or rectangle shaped objects that we can measure and find out how many square inches they are about. So today we're going to get started with a few of mine that we'll do together so that you can see what I want you to do. Then you're going to find some objects of your own around your own house and find the area of them. My first object that I found, I'm going to start with a smallish object, and that is my donut forget list. Haha, get it? Do not forget, donut forget. Ha ha ha. Anyway, when I'm measuring this, I'm going to be using my tape measure. If you have your ruler at home, that's fine, but we're going to be measuring in inches today, so please make sure that you've got your inches side out. Another thing about today, we're going to be rounding to the nearest inch. So that means that if something is a little bit more or a little bit less than an inch, that's okay. We're going to round up or down. You can find area using measurements that are like parts of an inch, but we're not doing that right now. So today we're just rounding. When I'm measuring my donut forget list, I want to measure the sides of my rectangle. So this side is 3.5 inches. Now we're rounding inches today, so if it's a half an inch, it's just like when we round and a half is like 5 when we're rounding. So we're gonna go up. So I'm gonna say that it's about 4 inches. Then I'm gonna round, and then I'm gonna measure the other side of my list. This side is 7.5 inches. Since it's a half, I'm gonna round up to the 8. Now, how do I write down this information that I just found out when I was measuring the sides? I'm going to create an area model. My area model shows what in real life I measured. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that looks like a smaller version of my list. Will you please draw that area model as well? Now that we have our rectangles drawn, we can put our information on the page. We said that this side was 4 inches long, 4in. Then the other information that we needed was the other side of the rectangle, which we said was 8 inches long. Go ahead and write that if you haven't already. Why don't we need the information for this side of my list? You guys remember, if I know this side of my rectangle, the rule of being a rectangle is that my opposite sides are equal. So this side and this side would both be the same, and this side and this side would both be the same. To find the area, I need this side and I need this side. Now let's go ahead and find what the area would be in square inches. So how much space does my list take up? So I'm going to go 4 inches times 8 inches equals 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So I'm at 32 square inches. So if I was to put my little square inch tiles on top of my donut forget list, there would be about 32 tiles covering that up side to side. So I'd have 4 rows of tiles going this way, and I'd have 8 rows of tiles going this way. That's pretty cool. I was thinking about things that were going to be square or rectangle, and I realized books are perfect. So let's find the area of my block print book. Remember, we're using just inches today. So I need to measure this side here to know how many columns of square inches I'm going to have, And then I need to measure this side here to see how many rows of square inches I'm going to have going this way. So before we even get started, let's draw our area model first so that once we have the numbers, we can record what they are. You'll notice that on my paper, this book and my notepad look the same as an area model, even though in real life they are different. But we look at the final answer to let us know which object is bigger in real life. Let's go ahead and model my, let's go ahead and measure my block print book. All right, so on this side, I have about 9 inches. It's a little shorter than 9 inches, but we're rounding to the nearest inch. So I'm gonna go with 9 inches. Then on this side, it's a little bit longer than 10 inches, but we're rounding to the nearest inch, so we're gonna go with just plain old 10. Now let's find our area. Go ahead and find the area, press pause, and press play when you're done. Okay, here's the answer. You should have multiplied our two side numbers. So you should have done 9 inches times 10 inches equals 90 square inches. How did you guys do? If we're looking at these two numbers, then I know that in real life, this one is a lot bigger than this one because 90 is bigger than 32. So I could use my area model to know in real life how big it is. So I'd have 90 of my square inch tiles on here. 9 rows this way, 9 columns this way, 10 rows going that way. Let's find another object to measure. Okay, next I was thinking about the tiles in my house. So I'm always looking down at the squares, so let's go ahead and find out their area. Let's draw our area model. Now this looks kind of like a diamond, how it's laid down, but we're gonna draw it as a square because it is a square if we turned it. Okay. All right, let's measure one side of my tile. Okay, one side of my tile is about 6 inches, a little bit less, but it's closer to 6 inches than to 5. I assume the other side is going to be the same length because it's a square, but I'm just going to double check. Yep, also 6 inches. Go ahead and find the area of my tile, oh my gosh, and press pause and press play when you're done. Okay, you should have said that the area of my tile was 6 inches times 6 inches equals 36 inches squared or squared inches. Okay, the last one that you're doing with me is the matching game box that my daughter has. So I already drew my area model. Go ahead and draw yours. On this side, it is 10.5 inches, so rounding up to the next inch would be 11 inches. And this side is 8 inches. So 11 inches by 8 inches. Okay, go ahead and find the area of the top of the box. Press pause and press play when you're done. All right, the answer you should have put is 11 inches times 8 inches equals 88 square inches. How did you guys do? All right, now it's your turn. On the back of your notes for your final problem, I would like you guys to find 2 objects in your house to find the area of. So when you're finding it though, I want you guys to make sure that you're picking something a little smaller If you pick something bigger, you totally can, but you're gonna have to be very careful with your math. If you decided to measure a table that was, I don't even know how long a table would be, you know, like 90 inches long, then you're going to need to do some repeated addition. So like if it was 90 times 24, you might need to add up 90 24 times. Of course, there are shorter ways to do that. Some of you guys are already pretty good at that math, but make sure you're picking smaller objects today. All right, after you find those two objects, draw your area models, put your area, label what they are, and then we'll see them tomorrow. I'm curious what you guys come up with. All right, have a good night, you guys.